Bonjour everyone and welcome back to Red Devils TV. Now, I'm in France, so obviously that's the difference in the background, but let's just get right into the video. So Manchester United beat West Ham 3-1 and we advanced to the round 6 of the FA Cup. And it's a game that we kind of expected to happen. It's a game where we expected the rotation, we expected our build-up play and the actual our actual playing style to be completely different due to the different players we were bringing in, because West Ham are a team with not as much rotation, and no matter what team David Moyes puts out, their players will always be comfortable with the players that we're playing. But with certain players, when United completely rotate, when it affects other players where they're not as good as they are if they were put with the first team. Now, obviously, that's plain and simple because they're playing with better players. But when you're playing with certain players, like I'm going to mention in a moment, it does slow the game down. It does make the game a lot harder to get a result. And that was clear of it. It was 0-0 at half time. And then in the 60th minute, West Ham went 1-0 up. And if it wasn't for a good substitution by Erik ten Hag, then United really wouldn't have got the result, I don't think. So it's plain and simple. It's plain and simple as well that Erik ten Hag didn't want the game to go to extra time. So that's probably why he put on the stronger players as the game went on. So it makes sense. But let's just get right into the players. So I want to talk about Harry Maguire. And for me, Harry Maguire is a good player, but I just don't think he's United's quality. And he was really affecting the team, their build-up play, passing out from the back, especially a player like Diego Dalot. Because as we know, Diego Dalot is a full-back that loves to attack, he loves to get forward, but when he plays with a player like Maguire, he can't do that. He struggles to get going forward, he just isn't confident, and it's frustrating to watch, to be honest. Because Diego Dalot, for me, is a very good attacking fullback, and he's improving with every single game, because especially with the coaching that Erik ten Hag is doing with him, he's looking like a much better player than he was last season. But when you're playing with Maguire, he brings you, he can bring you so much nerves for certain players, and they just will back off and won't play to their strengths because they'll want to cover Maguire. Because it's like I watched a video with Thierry Henry explaining how Pep Guardiola took him off at half-time when he played for Barcelona, because Thierry Henry wasn't involved with the game because he was put out on the left wing, and then he went more centrally to link up with Lionel Messi and he scored a goal. And then at half-time he went into the changing rooms all happy, and Pep Guardiola took him off at half-time. So then Thierry Henry said that no matter what you do with the players, it's like you stick to your position and you respect the manager's wishes. So for me, I feel like that Maguire was kept on for the full 90 minutes because one, is the club captain, and not like it's like with the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Rangnick situation where they had to play him. But I feel like that when he does start, he never comes off. Even if he scores 5 own goals, he will never come off, I don't think. So not that it's a concern, but I do think he belongs on the bench, or even more to be sold. Because the way I see it, even though we had massive rotation last night, our rotational players realistically should be either players that are challenging for the first team or youth players. That's the way I see it. And for me, them players are like Fred, Sabitzer, Eriksen when he's fit, Weghorst, Sancho at the moment, either Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, whoever plays, because all them players are good enough to challenge for the first team, I think. But it's the players like Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, I'm trying to think of other players, but off the top of my head, they're the main two candidates that aren't working and need to get sold. Now, for me, I feel like that both players will be brilliant at an Everton or a West Ham, or a mid-table team, maybe a Leicester or something. But I personally feel like that them two players are very good players, but they're just they just don't work in this Erik ten Hag system. And I think it's time that we need to face reality, and they need to go in the summer. And that could generate about 50 million. And if the Glazers are going to stay, then we need every penny we can get, because no doubt we'll have to sell to buy under this crap ownership. But yeah, let's talk about a bit more about the game. So first half was very dull, vanilla, like very boring. It just showed that this game was not going to be like the final at Wembley or Barcelona at Camp Nou. It was going to be a very scrappy game where United are fully rotated, the players are very comfortable playing with each other, and the subs are going to make an impact. So that's exactly how the game was going to plan out, and it did, because Casemiro came on at half-time for Scott McTominay, and you did see the midfield, you did see Sabitzer starting to get a bit more involved in the game. Despite going 1-0 down, I wasn't worried, because even though I said on Twitter that the first goal will be very crucial in this game, I still had confidence that United would get the result. And even though Fred got the last minute goal to make it 3-1, for me, Garnacho is what finished and buried the game, because obviously it's the 90th minute. We're drawing 1-1, and Garnacho with a beautiful curling shot was just a brilliant. So yeah, United, like I said, United advanced to the FA Cup, to the round of 6, and yeah, let's just do the player ratings. And I'll go first of all. I'll go for David De Gea, and I'll go for a 7. I know he made a couple of good saves. So for me, David De Gea gets a 7 out of 10. Diego Dalot, for me, I'll give him a 6, because I just think that Dalot's just, no, it wasn't impactful, but he was limited, because he couldn't not come out to attack, if that makes sense. He couldn't make the overlap with Anthony. Anthony also did really well tracking back, just while he's on my mind. But yeah, Diego Dalot, I wouldn't say it's his fault, but when he's playing with a player like Varane, then you see the better Diego Dalot. But when you're playing with Maguire, you're very limited of what you can do with your abilities. So yeah, Diego Dalot gets a 6 out of 10 for me. Harry Maguire as well, 6 out of 10 for me as well. Because don't forget as well, 6 out of 10 is an average game where you played okay, you didn't really make any crucial mistakes. Now, I know Maguire in the first few minutes made a big mistake, but he did well to defend it. But he just brings nervousness to the team. The team don't look confident when he's on the pitch. And yeah, it is hard to watch Maguire at times, especially when he starts. But, you know, he's a footballer for Manchester United at the moment, and I want every single player to succeed. So, apart from that, I've just got to give Maguire a 6, because it wasn't like he performed terribly, but I just felt like he played okay. Lindelof gets a 6.5. I don't know. I felt a bit bad for him when he got took off for Martinez. I personally would have kept Lindelof on and brought Martinez on for Maguire. But, you know, Erik ten Hag's the manager. I felt like for the time that Lindelof was on the pitch, he played okay. He was the better centre-half out of the two. So for me, Lindelof gets, like I said, I'll give him a 6.5. Malacia, for me, gets a 7. I felt like Malacia actually played really well. I saw a few people say that Malacia didn't play too particularly well. But for me, Malacia, he won the most tackles on the pitch, which was, I think it was 8. So for me, he's a good left back who's very quick, very promising. And for the price we brought him at, he's a very good, promising fullback, and he's probably already doubled his value, in my opinion. Scott McTominay, I'll give a 6 to. I just felt like he wasn't the best. And I'm not going to give the players 5s, but I just felt like because we won, I think if we lost the game and the players put in that performance and it stayed 1-0 and the front line don't score, then you probably are giving the likes of Maguire's and McTominay's like 5s and maybe even 4s. But no, we won the game, so it doesn't matter in my opinion. So yeah, I felt like we got it over the line, so that's all that matters, and we're through to the next round, and I think we're playing against Fulham. So that's a good result, I think, for a tough team to play for. But I think United could get that result. My phone's all over the place here. But yeah, who else have we got? Obviously, we've got Sabitzer. I felt like Sabitzer was very limited as well with Scott McTominay. It's kind of like the same situation with Diego Dalot and Maguire. When Sabitzer or Fred plays with Scott McTominay, they don't look confident at all, and that's because you're taking out a world-class player like Casemiro. So yeah, no wonder the players didn't look up to it today. Bruno Fernandes, for me, I don't know how he does it. He's played 3 games in the last 6 days. He's just absolutely ruthless, but I would give him a 6 out of 10. Same with Sabitzer, actually. I'll give Sabitzer a 6.5, but I'll give Bruno a 6 out of 10. I just felt like Bruno just didn't impact the game a lot. You need players, like you need your number 10 especially, to be receiving them fast balls who can actually make something out of it. But McTominay's passing was dreadful, and he just didn't get that service, Bruno, today, so he couldn't create anything. So I'll give Bruno a 6 out of 10. It's not his fault. There are a lot of 6 out of 10s tonight. So yeah, that's just my opinion. But who else have we got? We've got the front line. I'll give Anthony a 7. I felt like Anthony played okay. No, I'll give him a 6. I just don't really remember Anthony doing anything now thinking about it. I was going to give him a 7, but this isn't the Wembley final. So I will give Anthony a 6. I felt like now thinking about it, he wasn't completely up to scratch, but hopefully he's well enough or fit enough to play against Liverpool at the weekend, because I think he's a very impactful player, very crucial player for Manchester United. And I think we've just got to keep him, and it's okay if he has a bad game, is what I'm trying to say. Weghorst, though, I'm going to give a 7.5 to. I felt like he was one of the most dangerous players on the pitch. He's pressing, again, absolutely phenomenal. He did get a goal, but then it was ruled off for an own goal. So I'm pretty sure he didn't even get a touch on the ball, and it was just a West Ham player scoring an own goal. But in fast motion, it looks like Weghorst scored, but he'll score at some point. And I'm looking forward to it when he does, because that's when he'll actually full on celebrate. And Garnacho, I'm going to give Garnacho my man of the match, because, I mean, I felt like that he was dangerous by getting runs at the West Ham defence. He did get tackled a few times, but he's a young kid. He's raw. He wants to carry on and progressing. So, and he got the winning goal, even to make it 2-1, and just completely ruined West Ham's dreams, let's just say. So yeah, Garnacho gets my man of the match, and I'll give him an 8. I felt like he played really well. So yes, Garnacho gets my man of the match. Have I said my... No, I don't think I've said my goalkeeper, have I? Did I say David De Gea? I think I gave him a 7, didn't I? I can't remember. But yeah, Casemiro, let's give him a 7, because the Rolls Royce, he just makes us look 10 times better. Martinez, I will give... I'll give Martinez a 7 as well. I felt like that Martinez looked a little bit like changed the defence. So yeah, Martinez gets a 7 for me. Rashford gets 6.5. Didn't really notice too much when he came on. And Varane, I think, came on. And I didn't really notice him, 6. And who else? Fred came on and got the 3rd goal. And yeah, Fred did all right. I think he came on like the 80th minute or something. So yeah, Fred gets a 7 just for getting the final goal. But yeah, that's been your match reaction for United versus West Ham Round 5 FA Cup match. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment and share. I'm in Paris, so subscribe and like for the City of Love. And yes, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.